Welcome to Adult ypww, Daily Home Bible Readings. I do not own the rights to this music. I will read the King James Version first, and then the Amplified Version of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verses 1 through 8. And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away, and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept, until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, Shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. The Amplified Version of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verses 1 through 8. Now it happened, when David and his men came home to Ziklag on the third day, they found that the Amalekites had made a raid on the Negev, the south country, and on Ziklag, and had overthrown Ziklag and burned it with fire. And they had taken captive the women and all who were there, both small and great. They killed no one, but carried them off to be used as slaves, and went on their way. When David and his men came to the town, it was burned, and their wives and their sons and their daughters had been taken captive. Then David and the people who were with him raised their voices and wept until they were too exhausted to weep any longer. Now David's two wives had been captured, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the widow of Nabal the Carmelite. Further, David was greatly distressed because the people spoke of stoning him, for all of them were embittered, each man for his sons and daughters. But David felt strengthened and encouraged in the Lord his God. David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, Please bring me the ephod. So Abiathar brought him the ephod. David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I pursue this band of raiders? Will I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue, for you will certainly overtake them, and you will certainly rescue the captives. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.